Hello everybody, this is Ben from RedstonePig and welcome to the first episode of The Endless Wire. The Endless Wire is my redstone tutorial series. At the end of the series, you will know all about redstone. So, let's start. As you can see, I have a ton of lessons set up here. Now, let's do the intro. Welcome to the first episode of The Endless Wire. Today you will learn the basics of redstone. Enjoy. So, as you can see here, this is a redstone circuit. Very basic, just one line of redstone. And there are 16 redstone dusts here. And if we turn them on, this is a lever, one of the most common ways to turn on a redstone circuit. If we turn on the circuit, you'll see that the 16th dust is not powered because redstone dust has a 15 block power limit. The only way to get this lit is by using a repeater. Now there's two ways to have a repeater. The first one came out before this was released. This is the modern repeater. But before that, we would use this. And we'll get to these redstone torches in a second. But if you notice, this right here is 15 redstone dusts. And we have 3 more here. So normally these 3 would not be powered. But if we turn on the circuit, you will see that there's not enough power. And then the repeater gives it more power so that we can have a longer line. And so Mojang decided that instead of having to do this, we should just add a new item that will allow you to do this. One item. And they came up with the repeater. As you can see, we have another 15 dusts, and at the end is the repeater item, and this will power them. So those are the repeaters. Oh jeez, I forgot to label them. Let's move on to the next one. So this right here is what the redstone torch is from over here. This is a NOT gate, also known as an inverter. The NOT gate basically means when this is not on, it will be powered because of the redstone torch. And when it is, and when the lever is switched on, the line will be off. This happens because redstone torches will go out whenever it receives a redstone signal. Now, let's label this. So this is the NOT gate, or inverter. I would call it an inverter. And then this over here is an OR gate. So you need 2 power sources to do this. So this means that if you have one power source, you can flick that on and it turns on. And there's another one that if you flick that one on, it also turns on. You can either flick this one or this one. That's why it's called an OR gate. So we're going to label this OR gate. So this is the OR gate. Next, we have pistons. Now, pistons here, we have 2 types of pistons. There's sticky pistons and regular pistons. Try to guess which one is which. Now, this one was a sticky piston, and this one was a normal piston. They're different because this one, the normal piston, won't bring the block back, it'll only push it. But this sticky piston will make the block stick to it. So the pistons basically just push an item or a block, and then the sticky piston will push it, but will also bring it back. So we're going to label this one Pistons. Now, next, right here, this is just showing the fact that if you have a very quick pulse, and also this right here is another lesson, if you have, this is basically this pulse mechanism, I guess. I don't really know what to call it. But so this will just, so even with a lever that will stay on forever if you leave it on forever, instead it will only give one pulse because it will go through the block and it will power this redstone, but then a tick after, and a tick is basically like a fraction of a second. Like a very small fraction of a second, and it will be on for a tick, and then this repeater will power the piston, which will make this signal not get powered anymore because this will not be going through the block anymore. But when you have a small pulse on on a sticky piston that would normally bring it back down, if you look, it actually keeps it up. And you can tell if a piston is a normal piston or a sticky piston by looking at the top. Sticky pistons will have this slime on it. And if you look here, when we make it come back, it'll bring it back. So we are going to name this, what should we name this? Alright. Now we are going to move onto this design for a elevator. You can use it in other situations, but it's mainly used in a very simple elevator. Basically what happens is I'm going to press this button and this is going to come down into my face. And then it will bring me back up, which will push me through the piston. So when I press the button, it will bring me up here, which is probably one of the best ways to make an elevator. Yeah. So we'll name this elevator. Alright, now on to the next one. So this right here is a slime block. Now slime blocks, when pushed with a piston, can hold 11 other blocks, which means you can have a total of 12 blocks on a piston being moved at once with only one piston. But all of the blocks have to be attached to a slime block. So if you look here, right now we have 12 blocks. And we can push them all simultaneously. But if we get one more block and place it, then we can't do it anymore. So, that's the slime block. And over here, we have the slime block again. But this time, as you can see here, these are all of the blocks that slime blocks cannot push. We have dispensers, droppers, hoppers, jukeboxes, note blocks, daylight sensors, chests, trap chests, crafting tables, furnaces, anvils, bedrock, obsidian, and command blocks. If I had time, I would go ahead and pick block every single one of these and demonstrate that none of them will move. But I think you'll trust me that none of these move. Now we have this with, this is, I guess I would call it a bouncing machine using slime blocks. Whenever you are on top of a piston and you are on top of a slime block that is on a piston, and the piston extends, then you will be tossed, as you can see here. And I have not tried this yet, but if we do this, then okay. Yeah, let's really quickly I'm just gonna make something. Okay. So if we do this, then it should. Yeah, it will actually push me more than a normal block being pushed. If you look here. Yeah. So there's that. And now the final circuit. This is a hopper timer. Now, or a hopper clock, as some people call it. Now I'm going to quickly label all of these here. Sorry about that. Anyways, so this right here is a hopper timer, also known as a hopper clock. And right now, it is not moving because the hopper with the item in it is being powered right now, which means it will not put the item into other blocks. So as you can see, we have a cobweb in here, and then this one is empty. And if you notice, they're both facing each other, which means this will go into this one, and then this one will go into the other one, and then it will just go back and forth. And which means every time it goes into here, it will send a signal to this comparator. A comparator gets a signal whenever there's an item, or like whenever something happens to the block that it's coming out of, like it gets a block update, anything like that, then it will provide power. So if you look here, if we stop this, it is now going back and forth, and every time it comes into this hopper, it will give me a power source. So we're going to label this now as a hopper clock. And I believe that is it. I would really quickly like to thank everyone that watched my live stream on making this, and everyone that subbed during that time period. You can watch that stream on my channel. I'll provide a link in the description. Anyways, if you watched that, you might have noticed that I changed a few things. Anyways, that's all for today in the Endless Wire. Thanks for watching. Bye.